The day terror hit Nairobi. August 7, 1998. It was supposed to be an ordinary Friday morning in Nairobi. Matatus were hooting. Street vendors were arranging newspapers. Office workers rushed through the busy street around Haile Selassie Avenue. Then suddenly, a massive explosion ripped through the heart of the city. Windows shattered across downtown Nairobi. Building collapsed within seconds. Smoke swallowed the skyline. And thousands of people began running without even knowing what had just happened. But this was not an accident. This was one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in African history. An attack that changed Kenya forever and became the warning sign before the 9/11. So what really happened that morning? Who planned it? Why was Kenya targeted? And how did one truck bomb change global security forever? This is the full story of the 1998 Nairobi embassy bombing.
There's some people who are responding, they're actually talking. We understand there's some who are talking from the toilet. We at least sure of 2 people being still alive. One of them was alive, but still when our people reached him, and he was dead by the time we reached him. But we were talking to him until we reached him.
To understand why Nairobi was attacked, we first have to travel thousands of kilometers away, to the Middle East. During the 1990s, a new extremist organization was quietly growing, Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. The group believed the United States had become the biggest enemy of Islam. Why? Because America had stationed troops in Saudi Arabia after the Gulf War. The US also supported governments in the Middle East that extremist group hated. And after American military involvement in Somalia, Al-Qaeda began planning revenge. But instead of attacking inside America immediately, they decided to attack American targets overseas. And East Africa became the perfect opportunity. At the time, security systems in many African countries were weaker. Embassies were located inside crowded city centers. And Al-Qaeda operatives had already quietly entered the region years earlier. Kenya didn't even realize it was already being watched. Months before the attacks, Al-Qaeda members quietly rented homes in Nairobi. They lived normal lives. Some operated businesses. Others blended into ordinary community. But secretly, they were building a massive truck bomb. Investigators later discovered the explosives included TNT, ammonium nitrate, and aluminum powder. The bomb was powerful enough to destroy an entire city block. The attackers studied traffic patterns, embassy routines, security weaknesses, and escape routes. Then they selected the date, August 7th, a symbolic anniversary linked to the arrival of US troops in Saudi Arabia years earlier. Everything was now set. Friday, 10:30 a.m. downtown Nairobi. The city was alive. Thousands of Kenya filled the streets around the US embassy. Office workers, students, drivers, vendors. Nobody knew that was only seconds away. Then, a truck slowly approached the rear entrance of the embassy. Inside it was a suicide bomber. A Kenyan security guard named Benson Okuku noticed suspicious behaviors. He delayed opening the gate. That single decision likely prevented the truck from entering deeper into the embassy compound. Moments later, the attackers threw grenades. Gunshot rang out. People nearby stopped to look through the windows. And then, boom! A devastating explosion tore through Nairobi. The blast wave shattered windows hundreds of meters away. Cars flipped. Concrete rained from the sky. Smoke covered the street. The nearby Ufundi building collapsed almost instantly. Hundreds of innocent Kenyans were trapped inside. Some died immediately. Others screamed beneath the rubble waiting for help. Within seconds, downtown Nairobi had become a disaster zone. Survivors ran through dust, covered streets covered in blood and broken glass. Some couldn't hear, others couldn't see. People searched desperately for relatives. Phones stopped working. Sirens echoed everywhere. Rescue workers arrived, but the destruction was overwhelming. Civilians joined rescue effort using bare hands. Bodies were pulled from collapsed buildings. Cars became ambulances. Hospital overflowed with victims. The tragedy was horrifying. Over 200 people were killed in Nairobi. Thousands more were injured. And most of them were ordinary Kenyan civilians, not Americans. But Nairobi was not the only target. At nearly the exact same moment, another US embassy was bombed in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The world suddenly realized this was a coordinated international terrorist operation, and one name quickly emerged: Al-Qaeda. For many people around the world, this was the first time they had ever heard the organization name. But intelligence agencies now understood something terrifying. This group was capable of launching global attacks, and Nairobi had just become the warning sign.
219 people were killed when a bomb ripped through the US Embassy in the heart of Nairobi in August 1998. 12 Americans were among the victims. A simultaneous explosion in neighboring Tanzania also left 12 dead. The blasts have been blamed on Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda network.
The United States blamed Osama bin Laden. Within weeks, President Bill Clinton ordered missile strikes against suspect terrorist camps in Afghanistan and Sudan. The operation was called Operative Infinite Reach. At the same time, the FBI launched one of the biggest international terrorism investigations in history. Several suspects were arrested, others disappeared, but the mastermind, Osama bin Laden, remained free. And 3 years later, the world will witness an even bigger attack. September 11, 2001. The 1998 embassy bombing permanently changed Kenya's security systems. The old US embassy location was abandoned. A new embassy was later built in the more secure area of Gigiri. Kenya also expanded counter-terrorism policing, intelligence sharing, bomb detection systems, and emergency response units, road barriers, vehicle checks, and concrete bollards. Many of the security systems seen today in Nairobi were influenced by lessons from that bombing. The attack also shaped how Kenya later responded to Westgate, Garissa University, and Dusit D2. Today, the former embassy site is now the August 7 Memorial Park, a place of remembrance. But for survivors, the pain never truly disappeared. Some still carry physical injuries. Others still remember the sound, the smoke, the broken glass, and the fear that consumed Nairobi that morning. For many Kenyans, August 7, 1998 remains one of the darkest days in the country's history. A day that showed terrorism could strike anywhere, and a day that changed the world forever. But perhaps the most chilling part of this story is that Nairobi bombing was only the beginning, because years later, the same terror network could go on and launch deadliest attack ever carried out on American soil. And by then, the world finally understood that the warning Nairobi had tried to give. August 7, 1998, the day terror hit Kenya, and the day that the modern era of global terrorism truly began. Been yours truly, unruly, Jayuga, and life as it is diaries continues.
So kabla hiyo bora wapepo hiyo